Hi everyone, this is Min. I'm going to be going through the Orbital peer evaluation process. You can find the slides located here. I'm going to be switching in and out of presenter mode, so out of the slide deck, so I'm not going to go to presenter mode. So just to be clear, the overall timeline for Orbital looks a little bit like this. There'll be three peer evaluation milestones where you have to first give Project README and Log, and then in the subsequent week after that, you're going to have to look and read at all of the milestones submitted by your peer groups and evaluate them. So today is the 2nd of June. Hopefully by the end of today, you've filled out your project ideation and project planning milestone in your project README and Log for this milestone. And over the next week, by no later than June 9th, you have done the peer evaluation for your three groups that have been assigned to you. In about a month's time from then, you'll have to do milestone 2, which will look at the defined project scope and implementation project, mostly on the implementation project progress. And the third milestone is at the end of July, milestone 3, which will be preparation for presentation, documentation, implementation, progress, and testing. And the latter two will feature some videos that you'll have to prepare. Okay. The final thing we're going to do is in August 20th, that's about half a month after the end of milestone 3, when week 2 of Orbital starts, of the new term starts, we're going to have Splashdown, which will be a poster session where you have to prepare a poster and present it at SR1. So within a specific milestone, basically you're going to have to do this. You're going to have to put up a new copy of your group's project README and Log as a public note to your EG. Sometimes there'll be other requirements. For example, in the last two milestones, you'll have to create a video to document your progress. Okay, and then 7 days later, basically what you need to do is copy and fill out a peer evaluation form as a private note to your advisor. Now these are in the project README and Log. They need to be public notes specific to your EG. This is because other people in your group, evaluation group, have to be able to read it, and you should label it with the folder milestones so that it's easier for you to find using Piazza's search function. I know Piazza's a little hard to use, but once you get used to it, it should be better. Okay, I know that sounds like a bit of a cop-out. All right, for your peer evaluation form, you're going to make it a private note to your advisor, and you're going to need to label it with the words peer evaluation as the folder. So I'll show you this in a couple minutes. And then basically after you finish this second step, your advisor is going to do the last step, which is to make all of the feedback from all three groups that are evaluating a group public. So you'll get 3 sets of feedback normally due back to you, and those will be the feedback parts minus any critical and overall evaluation portions. Okay. He or she will then also have to disable the history of the post so that you can't, the target group cannot see what other people have written critically or overall evaluation. And if there's any negative feedback, they will post it separately. So you've heard most of this before, but just to recap, what happens is that the evaluators, which will be 3 peer teams of yours, inclusive of the and then separately an advisor, so 4 teams in total, will read the materials, the project README and Log presented by each group. Each of them will copy a course-wide template evaluation post. You already have the ones for evaluation post number 1, peer evaluation milestone number 1, and you basically just want to edit it so that the advisor can make it public later with all the feedback that you have. Now the only thing about this is we want to make it a private post because we don't want each evaluation team to be copying the peer evaluation done by other groups who might have turned in this earlier. This is why we make it a private post, which is going to be then changed to a public post by your advisor. Okay. Now in the form, there's a place for negative feedback. This will be cut from your post and reposted by your advisor in a separate note. Okay, so that it doesn't get associated with your group. Okay, so now I'm going to run through how this process works. I'm going to be using 3 different accounts in Piazza associated with 3 different web browsers so that you can see what's happening. So basically, I'm going to use the Student Day account. Their icon that you see in the top right corner of the Piazza will look like this, a student at a desk. We'll be using the Chrome browser for that. This will be the team that needs to be evaluated. They're going to be posting the Project README and Log. Okay. The second team is Student B. They're going to have to be the ones that are going to do the peer evaluation. In fact, you'll have to be serving as Student A for your own team and Student B for 3 teams that you need to do peer evaluation for. And finally, as the instructor, you're going to see what the advisor is going to do, and that's going to be associated with the Orbital account, which is going to be running Firefox. Okay, so let's give this a shot. So we're going to start with Student A. Student A, as you can see here, is the team that's going to be making their project log and README. So what I'm going to do is just basically copy the sample one that I have for our own project that I showed you earlier. So I'm just going to do that. Okay. So I'm just going to copy this part. Okay. Well, actually, I'm going to copy the whole post and then cut the parts that we don't want. I'm going to make a new post, and this is going to be a note to the class group, and it's going to be to my class group, which is the only one that I need. And I'm going to need to tag it with milestones. So just remember these 3 things. A note, it needs to be to the class group that you're assigned to, and it's going to be tagged as milestone. Okay? So then I'm going to paste this in. Okay? And I'm going to title it appropriately. Okay? So project log, README and log, the team name, okay, and then your teammates' names. Okay, if you happen to be down to 1 person, you'll just have 1 name. Okay, then you can put the rest of the information here. Okay, so we're going to get rid of the focus and then drop down to the part that we work on. Okay, so I'm going to just copy. Well, cut apart the rest of this. Okay, so we have our overview, the ignition slide that we're going to put in, etc. I think by now you've seen quite a lot of different versions of the project README and Log that other groups have done. So if you haven't done it yet, please do so as soon as you can. Okay, so I'm going to cut away this introductory preface for the project log 2. Okay, so now I have a project log. I'm going to post this as myself, again, to the class group as a note with milestones. Okay, this is a public post. Okay, so I'm done. You can see here it's been tagged to my evaluation group. Now if I go to Piazza as the instructor account over here, all right, you can see that I have seen this open public note, okay, as an instructor. But more importantly, you'll see it as in student B's account. If you recall, in student B is going to do the evaluation of student A. And how do you check which teams you're going to evaluate? You need to go down to this post here that's pinned. It's a pinned post. Peer evaluation groups. It happens to be post 235. So I'm going to click on that. So you can see here a table that lists all the teams. You can scroll down and find your team name. Okay, and it will also say which peer teams you're assigned to. So you should have 1, 2, 3 teams associated with you. So in this case, Team A is supposed to evaluate Team B and vice versa in this case. Okay, so actually this should read Team A. Let me just change that now. Team B as the instructor account. Okay, just let me do this in a second here. Okay, so this should be Team B, which hasn't done their README, but they're going to evaluate peer Team A. Okay, just to make it very clear. Sorry about that, snafu. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go to Team B, which is in Safari. Okay, Team B over here. They're going to find, oh, I need to do evaluation of student A. So the first thing I'm going to do is going to read student A's project README and Log. Oh, here it is. Okay, Orbital, Li Wei Sun, and Kan Min Yan. I'm going to read their evaluation log. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the peer evaluation 1 ideation. Okay, which happens to be post 212. Okay, so basically what you need to do is copy this note. Okay, I can just do it by highlighting this, okay, and making a new post. I'm going to make it a note, just like before, but I'm going to make it a private post. I'm going to send it to the advisor for my EG, okay, for my evaluation group. I'm going to post everything here, okay, and I have to title the note a certain way, right? It says here, peer evaluation of team group. Okay, so I'm going to put that here. Target project group, my project group is student A or Orbital, whichever one. Okay, so usually it'll be filled out with the group's name, right? So we should write Orbital here because the Orbital, the project is actually called Orbital, right? Okay, so I'm going to make this a note. I'm evaluating Orbital, and my evaluation group is student B, and I have to go find the original post with the project README and Log. Let's see, that was this one, which is 314, and then I'm going to fill this out. The project should serve some user needs. Is it clear? Who would benefit from the project? Maybe I agree. Okay. Is the project well defined? Well, sort of. Some parts are not that clear, so I'm going to X here. All right. Quality of the proposed solution, maybe it's all right. You know, I think they're doing okay. And then I have to put in a minimum of 1 to 2 sentences here, and then say what else we want to do. All right. So quality of the proposed solution. This is just about the ideation. Remember, what's the idea of the project? And the idea is gift book ++ seems okay. I think having secret Santas are not that important. Probably focus more on gift giving and choosing gifts, since that seems more important. The other criteria seems more optional or as more useful as an extension. Okay, so you can fill in more. The more comments you give, the more helpful it will be to the peer teams that are benefiting from your evaluation. Okay, so if I included user stories and things of that sort, then I'm going to put them here. Again, I should have that. Okay, I need to put for each feature that I'm going to do what user roles are supposed to be done, is the desired outcome clear, etc. Okay, so I'm going to skip all this part because you know what to do. All right. The last 2 sections are critical. One is the critical feedback. Let's say you have any negative comments, like for example, some people have said, and I agree with you, that Piazza is not very useful, pretty counterintuitive, perhaps use or develop a better system ourselves later. Okay, or you can complain whatever you want. You know, I can't stand it. Okay, and then knowing that this information is going to be given to the peer team, but not associated with your account. Okay, and then the final thing you have to do is give an overall evaluation. Let's say, I think it's all right. They're doing an okay job. They're not failing, but they're not really good enough to do a great job here. Okay. Note that you can find a source version of this. This is just source code in HTML. I'm just editing it here just by adding characters. But if you want to do a more raw job or a careful job, you can take the source, download it, and then upload it, paste it into the Piazza form to edit it. Okay? So I'm going to, again, title this the way that I've said already, peer evaluation 1 of Orbital. Okay, and then I'm going to have to label it as peer evaluation. So these three things are key. Note, a private note to your instructor, okay, to your advisor, and then have it tagged as peer evaluation. I'm going to post that note, okay, and then what you'll see is if I switch back to student A, they cannot see this post. You can see here it's not updated, nothing has been here. But what will happen is the final advisor will see this as a private note. Okay? So at this point, we've gone through the project README and Log that's done by the first team, your team. Right now I'm simulating that at student A. And then secondly, the peer evaluation has to be done by student B by 7 days. Okay? And the final step is to publish the evaluation results. That's done by the advisors. And that will be done shortly after you turn in the peer evaluations. Note that the advisors will be doing the second step, which is the peer evaluation for you as official feedback on their own as well. Okay? So let's go to this final step. This will be publishing evaluation results. So in Firefox, which is our instructor account, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this form, okay, I'm going to first disable the history, okay, so that no one can see any changes that have been made to the post, okay. So now that thing is off, I'm going to copy parts of the post, okay, say the critical feedback here, and overall evaluation. I'm going to take those out of the note. Okay, and I'm going to post a new note to the project team. Okay, peer evaluation 1, negative feedback from all teams. Okay, and I'm going to put that information all here. Of course, I have to take out the overall evaluation. Okay, and basically what will happen is we'll have these sections from several teams, any team that reported it. Okay, let's say I received another one, I'm going to build another one here. Okay. So this will be made available to the whole class group. Okay. So everyone knows that there have been some problems with that particular group. Okay. This is a public post, but it's been anonymized. It's very useful to have it public so that other people can benefit from all the feedback, okay, although it's not specifically associated to anyone but that group. Okay, so that will be sent to the teams, okay, and available to everyone in your evaluation. Okay, let's make this public. Okay, so now this negative feedback should be able to be seen by everyone in the evaluation group. And then I'm going to take the private evaluation that we turned off the history for. You can see it's still off here. And I'm going to edit it. Edit this note as a advisor. Okay? And what I'm going to do is just take out the last two sections. Okay? All right. So I've taken out the last two sections. I'm going to change it to be group visible, okay, to my evaluation group, the evaluation group that I'm in, and then submit that. Okay? So now this is a peer evaluation group. I can see that it was done by student B and it's correctly linked to the right post. Okay, and if we go back to, let's say, student A's account, they should be able to see this as well. Okay, so if we go down a little bit here, here it is. There's some negative comments that have been made about my project as student A. Okay, and I should be able to see the project log and README for my group. Okay, let's see whether that's going to refresh or not. Okay, so here we are. Peer evaluation 1 of Orbital. You're going to have 3 copies of this from different groups. This one was done by student B. Okay, and make sure when you're trying to find these posts, it's really hard to see them. You can use the folder buttons up here. So for example, I want to just see the peer evaluation, so I can see the ones that have been made in my EG that are public to everyone. Okay, these are the ones for my group because it has the word Orbital in it. So I can, for example, filter by both, right? I can say it's going to be that, and I want it to be with peer evaluation, right? So hopefully you can find the post that you're looking for there. Okay? So that concludes this video. I hope you found that helpful. If you have any questions, please ask on Piazza. Thanks.